Hi.
Hi, we're
Hi.
live.
So, whenever you're ready, ladies, to bring through your wonderful gifts. Toye naki ene de, kono ine, hanna ine, kono ite ine.
Haserura mayama, ayona miro. Iono mikoria, ayono miru.
Tumaiye tuye iye, tumaiye tuye iye, tuye
Ayono miro, ayono miro. Koromatara.
Ne.
Ninano Sotoya Tariana. No Yuswaya Kita. Niano Soto Ayamana Kianawa Sitara. No Yorasanya Koa Katila Sanonoa. Ono Koa Katayai. Iala Katotoya. Molo Asania Wakotoyo Shona. Oelaha.
Yonomayo,
Nanahi.
Yonomayo, Yonomayo, Yonomaru. Ayono miro, ayono mikuro maya maratorio. Ayono miro, ayono makuro matero.
Hanakine.
Ayono mikurio.
Ananana inamoto ine.
Iyana mirana materu. Ayana mero. Ayana. Ayono mikurio. Ayono miru. Kotoba para le que te se sopasa se toro mantequera, falasa con tosa separa. Io non sera ma mi no miro.
Hanno kuine.
Hayo no miro.
Ramino.
Io no mi coria. Hayo no miro. Hayo no mi corio.
Nahi.
Io nome Toria, io no miru. Io no sero mira, io no miro.
Yatrimara Sayana Kato Ashanotoro Sulu Pasalia Seturu Kosha Onuala Saya Mawakato Ashanukia Otu Asaya Sama Matu Shu
Ono hirena, tu kiena, ono, unite, hanako.
Ina Sunu Kwataya Inoku Akato Hanuko Shaparita Oshuya
Isera matoro antekara matosa sapas. Ekoro matera ekoro okoro akra etiramaya.
Ila Satinkia Salvoko Shona Kila Tendra Koso Haikisa Isoko Ila Iha Otokosho Yuso Nomukosha Ila Isa Kondra Kia Omusola Kitari Koso Rokona Hamura Shiatarakila Koso.
Thank you, ladies. That was a really beautiful experience.
Collaboration.
Little spiritual adventure.
Wow. Where do we go from here? Thank you so much, Wendy, for joining us, and for Lola for connecting with me and being weird with me.
Hey, I like weird.
Absolutely. So yeah, who else can we invite to play, and what else can we do, and what other sounds can we bring into being that will be a contribution to our lives and kind of free up, I guess, a lot of this, the throat, I guess people call it the throat chakra, but it's kind of, for me, it's kind of acknowledging more of ourselves. And by tapping into our light language, our tones, we know what's there, just to voice that, it feels like the more of us we can bring forward into the world and be truly be true to ourselves and be seen and heard in all our glory.
I agree. Exploring our multidimensionality, and every song and every tone and every language is another part of ourselves speaking and wanting to be heard. And they, like us, have something to say and a song to sing and an expression of their own multidimensionality. It's a it's a combined effort between our guides and us. We're speaking to each other and bringing that information to both worlds simultaneously.
Yeah, absolutely. Bringing those aspects, those part of us, our guides, our team that we work with, and acknowledging, that part of those experiences we've had into the now, into this reality, what we want to call that, whatever that is. That's a big topic on its own.
Well, and if we can think of ourselves as singing these songs and speaking these languages, and someone else on the other side of that is singing the same song and speaking the same language, and who's hearing who?
Yeah. Trippy.
Well, I see it as connecting with your higher self in general, you know.
Oh, indeed. All of
Yeah.
your,
Yeah, and then of course,
you know,
there's aspects that trickle down to the earth plane, but yeah, I just think of it just basically connecting to who you really are,
yes.
essentially taking that vibration and translating it down to earth. So that's why I like to encourage people not to try to go through a middleman. Because I know some people will try to say, "Oh, I'm going to channel, this ascended master," and in Kabbalah, which I've been studying, the ascended masters, yes, that's part of us, but why go through the middleman? Why not go straight and bring up to your highest part of you and bring that energy down? So
Yeah.
that's what I usually encourage people to do, is just I think we're all talking about this. We want to play. We want to be ourselves, and the way to be the truest self is just to connect directly to who you are at the highest level. And so I
And
think.
it does. It comes from your heart space. It doesn't come from
Mhm.
your head. It doesn't come from thinking. It doesn't come from saying, oh, I'm not saying intention doesn't have its place, like I want to speak to this entity or this energy, but when it comes down to just trying it for the first time, or it's letting your heart be involved, letting it be the one that it's not about trying. It's about allowing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And
allowance.
when light language is going through you, you feel it in your body. So for
Yeah.
the people who, I guess our discussion right now is like, how do people get started with this? And I think we all agree, the three of us, just play with the
Just
sound.
play with it. Just let the
Play,
sound come out.
Oh,
And
yeah, and feel where it is in your body, because that's where you're getting the vibration, and that's where the energy's shifting. So you can
mm-hmm.
really be conscious of when you make that tone or you make that light language cadence. I can say cadence. You'll feel it in your body, and pay attention, because that's where the energy is going, and that's where the healing is occurring. So.
And it often does start with sounds, and we have to all, I think we can all agree that we all have made some pretty strange sounds in our own homes with, the windows closed, going, oh my gosh, I'm so glad the neighbors didn't hear that, because you're like, wow, what was that, and where did that come from, and did that come out of me? Because you're just like, because you've got to let it out, and sometimes, and a lot of times the languages start with just the sound, letting yourself just say, ah, oh, ah, letting yourself get used to hearing your own voice. How many of us, I was afraid to even role play as a kid. I mean, or even as an adult, because we don't want it. We're too afraid to hear our own voice.
And that's right. I guess that how often that when we see children, when I see kids, is they don't have those, I guess, those fears or things that we've picked up about that self awareness kind of thing, and they just make the sounds. They're just being it, and they're just so free with that. And somewhere along the way, we've been told to be quiet, or don't speak up, or be quiet, that kind of thing. So we start shutting down and stop exploring and playing, I guess. And what would it take for be in that kind of state again, just to allow ourselves to, what if I made this noise and have no judgment about it?
Well, and we're all afraid to find that inner child again, and to say, let it play, let it out, and like you said, and anybody who's into meditation or channeling or toning or any of this, you cannot be afraid about what you sound like or what you look like, because we do some weird stuff. Some weird stuff comes out of our mouths. We're just like toning and humming, and and almost every channeler, though, they start with going into that place of sound. Many channelers will begin a channeling with a toning first. A way to connect with a tone that opens up that place inside of you, that lets that in, lets the information in, and allows you to let it out. That vortex, that vortex of energy. And We have to be okay with that, letting it out and just letting the sound out and it's the expectations. Oh, well, I can't just let that sound out. One, how's it ever going to lead to anything like light languages or anything like that? But let me tell you, that's the only way it leads to it.
That's how it worked for me. I was meditating, and I kept saying the consonant K over and over again. It was, and it just
Good
come out, and I just went, all right, let's go with it. I'm meditating. Let's just do it. That's what, you know. And then, you know, yeah, it was the consonant K. It sounds like for you, Wendy, it was vowels. Whatever it is, it's trying to express itself. You know, trying to suppress it was the problem because the K's were coming out even if I tried to suppress it. So that is how light language started for me. It sounds like it started that way for you. How about you, Lily? How did it start for you?
God. How did it come for you?
I know, it's like where it just sort of happened.
Well, I heard it first actually through a sound meditation who is a good friend of mine, and she connected with my sound, if you like. And I first heard the light language or different language, and I just started crying, and I was like, "What is this?" And I remember, and why are my eyes leaking? And
and that happened with you, Wendy, where people start crying.
Yeah, me too. Especially even as these energies started coming in, and then these entities started identifying themselves. I still, to this day, I'm the weepiest one in the crowd. The energy is so strong. I sometimes cannot even bear it. It's just, but it's beautiful strong. I
just had a thought. You know, because you need to release the language and the frequencies, but we need to release our tears. So what if tears are a form of light language?
Oh wow, you well.
Water's light. Carry so much vibration, and the water holds so much vibration.
Wow.
When we're releasing them,
I never thought of it that way.
This was an aha moment. But we know how cleansing it is to release those tears. So if the light language helps to promote that, I mean, that's kind of the sign of how it does the healing. Right there.
Have a lot of people with tears. Like, people are going to be watching going, I'm not going to cry.
Well, and you know, several of the channelers, too, that do the toning before they do the channeling, several of us have said, and I actually substantiated this with the channeler himself, and I told a friend, I believe that when they're doing the tone, that's actually its own message. I love your turtle. Oh, you're not going to believe this. I have to get mine. So I said, I think that there's a message in the tone itself. Well, then, when I got to be in the hangout with the channeler, he says, yes, and I'm pretty sure that there's a message within the tone also. And I said, I knew, you know, that it was. And so, I have one too, Lily. I have one too. I can't believe that. Of all the ones you pick the turtle.
I don't have a turtle.
Oh, yeah, forget to do that. That's where the camera is. Okay. Hi. Lola, you need to buy some. Anyway, sorry, that was a distraction.
That's okay. We've got doing light language.
The hybrid children actually do speak to us in galactic languages, and they really enjoy speaking through our little toy animals.
See, now we're having fun. That's what we want to do. We wanted to play, didn't we?
Yeah, so, absolutely.
Yeah.
See, I have a unicorn. See, guys, everybody out there, I buy my own stuffed animals.
I have a Cupid doll nearby.
I love
the
Unicorn Collective, so I had to get a unicorn. I have a couple of them. She screamed out to me, her name is Rarity.
Rarity?
Yeah.
So anyway,
too,
it sounds like there's lots to talk about, lots to share, and yeah, absolutely, it's a kind of invitation for people to come and join us, and it's the allowance of exploration, and just see what happens.
And that's how I started it too. That's how I learned it too, was listening. Just I was in a hangout with other people, and they were just speaking galactic languages, and that was it. And it just, my heart knew. And it just sort of fell out.
Fell out.
And now I can't. I hear them all the time. They're always there talking. I could speak all day long. Well, I do. Actually, I should say I do speak all day long, just not necessarily out loud. But I'm always speaking, and I actually speak galactic languages telepathically. Oddly.
Yeah, it will become
like why would that be necessary?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it feels like it's just tapping that into just a different way of expressing ourselves, and it will become the norm. It's just like that. It's like having a new radio station. It's just like something.
Yeah, it is. It's like, I want to hear
this is the trend. Well, not trend, but I guess so. The new way of expressing, and which conveys a lot more information, and it just feels like. Why slow us down with this earth language? We can say in much quicker.
I like that. I'm hearing some. I think I'm hearing Arturian in there.
Okay, so I'm going to press the stop broadcast button now. So that was really fun. What happened? I don't know. I got to find out. Right? So we won't all go off air, do we? Or
no? Nope. It just stops the live broadcast.
Oh, okay.
Goodbye. And then we can sit and talk as long as we want.